This is Fut-Afrique channel. I am Christophe Bongo and I am with Mpoza. My dear friend, we talk everything football. Specifically, we enjoy it when we talk South African football. Don't forget to subscribe and you can follow Mpoza because of his great spaces on X account. His X account is here, or Twitter account, you send Twitter account, which is Mpoza929. Great spaces, you won't miss the passion there. Mpoza, PSL, we have games tomorrow. And last time we spoke, you gave Orlando Pirates 4 out of 6, but they got 2. So they failed. They failed.
You know, there's a song that goes sing, say, "Wema Pagania wins in Jan." I just
What's
happening?
And we are in a special month. This is Orlando Pirates legend Dr. Keza Mutaung's birthday or birth month, plus his induction to the Hall of Fame. He can't get happiness from Kaizer Chief because they are not giving him anything as his club. Orlando Pirates is a former club. He is your legend. Give him something. How are you seeing this game against Towns Spurs, who might just have a record? Their very first win in PSL this season will come against Orlando Pirates.
Look, if Towns Spurs gets the first win against Orlando Pirates, that will be, gosh, I don't know where Pirates people or supporters are going to hide, because Cape Town Spurs are desperate for their first win. Cape Town Spurs are desperate to be able to start moving in terms of points to be able to get out of relegation. You've got a new coach that's there, but the morale in the team must be low. The morale with the players, but there's no better game than this one whereby you're having a giant, you have MTN 8 champions. You want to be able to say to players, go out there, show what you've got, give us grit, give us performance to be able to win that.
Mpoza, let's go numbers, because people don't, when you talk like this, people don't understand what you're saying. Cape Town Spurs, they play 8 games. They score 5 goals.
Conceded?
They conceded 17. The most important thing is they've got 0 points because they've got 0 win, 0 loss. 0 win, 0 draw, and 8
losses. And that's very concerning, because at this time of the season, when you're going to game number 10, whereby you are now done with 1/3 of the league is starting to take shape. They're chasing PSL trophy, that's starting to be evident. Those who are fighting for the top 8, that's starting to be evident. Those who are at the bottom, of that's where Pirates is, they don't want to see themselves in that.
No, it's still a little bit, because you are saying now we reach 10th game,
yes,
which is a third of the season.
Yes.
In this stage, the league is divided in 3 positions.
Yes.
The first position, people are fighting to challenge for but the in title. South African case, they're not challenging anymore. It is fighting for Africa.
Yes, you're fighting for the CAF spots.
Yes, CAF spots.
Yes.
The middle one is to be on top 8,
yes,
to have a chance of competing the first trophy next season.
Yes.
And the bottom one is ish.
Yeah, no.
Am I having a long season where we're going to go to playoffs, yes, or am I getting relegated directly?
Yes. So it's in that worrying spot at the bottom whereby you find Cape Town Spurs. They are not even keeping up with the teams above them. Because you want to be able to say, I'm a point away, a win can take me above number 15 and number 14. But they are rooted at the bottom because they've got no win to speak of. When
we were playing football, our calculation used to be get 30 points as quick as possible.
No, that's very dangerous.
No, I say
Richards Bay last season.
No, I want
they go to 30 points as quickly as possible.
I say our time. Now 30 points is not good enough. That's not what I to get.
Yes.
Our time football, when we play it, you get 30 points in PSL.
You are safe.
You are safe.
Yes.
Now even 30 points is not safe.
Yeah.
Cape Town Spurs got 0. Yeah. So you are running Cape Town Spurs. Will you invest in January?
Have to. Without a doubt.
For what is the reason? Because you know you have 20 games left and you need 30 points.
So there's 2 areas that I would invest in. In fact, looking at they need everything to be invested, because you need a strong defense. And you're going to need to be able to...
What are you investing for?
You want to be able to say, let's give ourselves a chance.
Of what?
Of surviving.
Playoff.
At this moment, it's playoff.
Okay.
Because you can't say you're looking for, you just want to say, let's get to playoffs. We got into this through playoffs, maybe we can be able to fight.
Who can be worse than Cape Town Spurs? For you to give Cape Town... Okay, Richard Bay, they played 10, they've got 6 points.
And so at the rate that you're looking, Richards Bay is not moving away fast enough away from Cape Town Spurs.
Including Royal AM.
Yes. So Royal AM, the gift of the givers. Yeah.
Including Orlando Pirates.
You see, and that's what I said.
Basically, Cape Town Spurs, they're playing Orlando Pirates. You're going to tell me the chances. Cape Town Spurs and Orlando Pirates, with 1 game different, they've got only 8-point difference.
And that's the thing. You're looking at it, if they win, suddenly they're closing the gap. So, and now you got to say, hey man, Orlando Pirates, are you sure? I mean, when the season started, it was one of the teams that we thought are going to give Sundowns a run for their money based on their form last season. But Cape Town Spurs have got to start collecting W's. And unfortunately for me, I'm not seeing them winning against Orlando Pirates. If they win, it will be a shock to football as a whole.
I want you to go back as a player. And probably you do speak with him. He started the season scoring goals, and we said that is the man. I remember speaking with Shane McGregor said, when a striker score goals, that way his football starts.
Yes.
What's happening with Lepasa?
He was scoring goals for fun. I mean, Skukuni probably didn't want to see him.
What happened?
Drop of form is something that is...
Why?
You've got to look at the way that Pirates play.
It is the way they're playing.
So there was an injury. 2 things. One, he had an injury which meant he dropped out of the team. So it meant that continuity on his side is no longer there anymore, which then became a problem. And then from where Pirates is playing, they don't have a steady 11 that you know, this is my lineup. When they play against Cape Town Spurs, it will be the 7th time that the starting 11 changes.
Is that really an issue?
Yes, it is.
Of starting 11?
Yes. Because with what...
So why is my team if I know I've got already 11 players that are my starting 11?
So what then happens is that you start to build relationship. So Mufugeng is still in trials overseas. While you may have Loch who has come in and filled in, Loch plays a very different football. Lepasa may have been starting to form relationships with Maswangani, with Mufugeng, and be able to get the likes. I mean, there's quite a number of players at Pirates that form has dropped. If you look at a former MTN player of the season...
That was my point. The form is not only one player, but the form is the whole squad form just dropped.
Yes.
What is the issue?
So you've got to look at... Can you say too many changes that has happened has affected the team? Because there's lack of continuity. So players don't know whether they're playing, they don't know what... So it's those things that you start now questioning yourself as a player.
When you were playing, did you know you're going to play this next game?
Look, if you're playing well, you know that if you're playing well and your last game was good, you were guaranteed. And that was form counts for something. And you've got to be able to say, because you've played well, you should be in the next team.
I'm looking at Orlando Pirates here. I'm saying the same faces. I'm seeing Hoto still playing. Last game against Polokwane, he was not useless, but he was not good for his team.
Yeah. So let's start. Yeah. When Pirates started the season, they had a central back at the back pairing.
Yeah.
Who's playing there now?
Now it is Tapelo, Koki, and Ayayi. They're playing in the center. And the wide, it is Moniane and Hoto forming the back four.
Paseka Marco, where's Marco? Because remember, we used to rave about Paseka Marco, the fact that he's got a big engine, he can run up and down. There's a change that's happened. Nda has now come in instead. So you've got those, because it's those little changes. People play differently based on the people that are there. Paseka Marco, who for me was probably...
He's not even on the list. Yes. Maybe he's injured.
So even if it is an injury, but it means that the team has got to change in how they play. Yes, there's reasons some are injury prone, some are trials having gone overseas, but it changes the team. It changes the momentum of the team. You've got to look at somebody who played very well last season was Miguel Tim. Miguel Tim is not playing.
This game you're going for?
I've got to go for Orlando Pirates.
Orlando Pirates.
Yes.
Before we close, I wanted you to give me. So I want you to give me, we're in game 10. Paul's assessment. Worst surprise for you of the season so far? in top three, in the three from 0 to
So for me, you've got to look at teams that you're going. The Royal AM, I'm very disappointed in how they've done business.
So West surprise or Royal AM?
Yes, and where you've got to look at what they've done administratively. Administration block has not helped the playing block in terms of getting administration stuff right. Players that were meant to be given contract or options exercise, they didn't. You've got the Nikovic situation that they're fighting, that the administration block has led to where now the team can't sign new players, which means you're releasing players, but you're not getting quality to replace them. So which means you've got to now promote within the ranks.
So Royal AM bottom surprise, bad surprise. Number two?
Number two for me is Orlando Pirates. Yes, they have won the MTN 8, but with them having won the MTN 8, you expected them to kick on. When the season started, I thought they would be one of the teams based on the quality of the squad, the performance of the squad. I thought they'd be able to give Mamelodi Sundowns a run at the top for their money. I expected them to be doing a lot better than they are in the league, and they are not clinical in how they're playing. They're not, and that has led to them being out of the CAF Champions League because they got knocked out of the CAF Champions League, and now they're dropping.
Amateur club.
I mean, Joaneng had not even started the league. In Botswana, the league had not even started at the time.
And number one?
Number one is Kaizer Chiefs.
Is Kaizer Chiefs worse than Captain Spurs for you?
No, look,
did you expect Captain Spurs to be at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, Kaizer Chiefs.
So even Sean Bartlett said he expected them to just fight for playoff spot.
Yeah.
So Kaizer Chiefs, you've got to look at, there's always this, we are rebuilding, we want to get back to our former glory days. We want to be able to go back to, you don't get to be called cup champions because of that. But in the last 8 years and the continuation of that, they were happy to announce new sponsors coming on board. There were initiatives that were done by sponsors. They welcomed new sponsors in John Deere that gave them tractors for the lawnmower. They welcomed new sponsors in Kappa. They've opened a new bag of chips that everybody's raving about. But on the field, the main thing is no longer the main thing. The team is not performing.
So, just in the order to go so that we know what you're saying. Game 10, worst performance, worst surprise of the season. We start with, you say Royal AM.
Royal AM would be third.
The worst, because you are very upset about it. We are very upset because we are football lovers, very upset what's happening in the Royal AM. We're not happy with what's happening in Orlando Pirates based on what the objective were and the squad and what they have achieved with MTN 8. And the number one, it is Kaizer Chiefs. As a big club in South Africa, you always expect them. It was the season where we wanted to see that change.
Yes.
And the change is not happening. Let's reverse. Game 10, your great surprise of the season, thing that you did not expect to see happen, but is happening in the good side.
Amazulu.
What did you expect them to do? To struggle?
You've got a coach, yes, he used to coach Simba, but that was all that we knew. You can only read a coach's CV. You've got to remember he's coming into a new country. With him coming into a new country, he's got to first learn the Amazulu players, learn the Amazulu culture. Because every team's got its own culture, how they do things, how they adapt and how they are, who they are. What do they mean to the Zulu nation? So all those things you'd expected that the coach would take a lot of time before he settles. Couple of wobbly games in the beginning, but the way that they set up, the way that they play.
Sorry to cut you. If we're talking Amazulu, we never have a chance to say, well done, my man. Congratulations to
Pilani.
Listen, Amazulu did something exciting. Having one football person, a passionate football fan, a passionate football speaker.
It's one thing. You can be employed to speak to head communication. Pro knows the culture of the club, knows the players within the club, and knows the football culture of South Africa, and is in touch with what's happening within football.
And understands protecting his player against us. Each time we say something, he knows how to protect.
Yes, and what he does, he knows the landscape of football in South Africa and the media side. So it's somebody who brings a wealth of knowledge and is passionate about the sport. And all we can say is, well done to Amazulu for that appointment. Well done, Pro. All the best, my friend.
Great surprise, number 3. Number 2, great surprise.
Number 2 for me, the surprise is Mamelodi Sundowns.
Why? everything is going smooth.
Because
we expect it for them to go for another record. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm expecting from Mamelodi Sundowns. Game 10. I'm expecting them to go full season unbeaten.
But you're saying unbeaten because of the way that they've started. If we had started
last year, what they did
last season,
year.
yes.
Yeah.
So let's then go. Let's go and then say one thing that Coach Rulani always says: don't take winning for granted because it's not a divine right to have. So with that having been said, with the way that Pirates finished the season strong, because Pirates won the Nedbank Cup, Pirates won MTN 8, Pirates was one of the top 3 finishers. You've got to be able to say they are now coming for what is yours. And all that they've done, the consistency that the team has done in the league, and just they've played 8 games. They are the opposite of Cape Town Spurs. They have won each and every one of those games.
The only thing they know is W.
WWW. So what you then got to be able to say, that's a welcome surprise.
Okay, cool. And your top surprise of the season so far?
Top surprise of the season is going to be Golden Arrows under Mabuti Kanyeza. You've got to look at if they win the next game, because Sundowns is not playing. They are 1 point away. Yes, they would have played more games, but they're suddenly 1 point away from Golden Arrows. If I asked any football person, probably even Mabuti himself and the owner of the club, and said, where do you expect your team to be after 10 games? I don't think number 2 would have been where they expected.
Listen, I did not rate him as a coach. As a player, he was not a top player, but his attitude playing football, I loved his arrogance.
His aggression.
His aggression in football.
His tenacity.
He used to go and making sure that he's going to get that ball before the goal, the defender.
Yes.
I liked that. So
and I think he still holds the record for the fastest goal, not only in the derby, but in the league, because it was like a minute or 2.
His attitude was a very good attitude.
Yeah.
I can imagine him, because I was in the change room with Shane McGregor as a coach, and he was arrogant in the change room. You know why? Because he scored 20 goals in 3 seasons back to back. So he was arrogant in the change room. I think Mabuti is almost the same thing. So your top 3 good surprise is you went for Amazulu, Sundowns, and
Golden Arrows.
Golden Arrow. Gentlemen and ladies, wherever you are, every week I am with this man, Posa. And if you want to continue conversation with Posa, this is his social media account. I don't know if it is Twitter account or X account, but it is Posa929. You go and listen to the passion of football, but every week, 2 or 3 times, I will be with him talking nothing but enjoyment of football. Until next time, I'm Christophe Bongo, and this is Fut-Afrique channel. You need to subscribe. Au revoir.